Hi, everybody. Spawnkai 922. Oreshura. This was episode 5. This one, I believe, let me just check to see what the name of this one was. The Truth of the Love Letter is a Battleground. In this episode, we get 2 new characters. One of them was shown in the intro. The other one wasn't. Once again, I do not know why this show keeps throwing JOJO references. I don't know why. It's like JOJO references out the yin yang. It's unbelievable. Don't get me wrong. It's funny as fuck. It's ridiculous. But it's just, they continue to do it. And I'm like, you gonna continue doing this throughout the entire show? The JOJO reference? Well, anyway. This episode, I'm probably gonna give a 4 out of 5. This one was some comedy, and once again, it got a little serious in the middle there. Got pretty serious. Like mid-part of this episode. Beginning part, though, we have Ada-kun, and he's, what's he doing again? Oh yeah, he's in the club room. And, well, first he's taught, he keeps getting, he gets this love letter. Hence the name, The Truth of the Love Letter is about Battleground. And the love letter basically says, the person doesn't say her name. That she wants to reconnect with him. That she's loved him from afar and wants to reconnect with him. Doesn't know the girl's name, but that's the story. That's what she said. And in the beginning part, after this, and he's talking to his friend in the beginning part of the episode, he's thinking it's Chiwa. That's his initial reaction. It's Chiwa. Later on, he doesn't think that. But in the beginning, he thinks it. And there's a connection going on between them. They're ling lovey-dovey in the club room. And then here comes mashuzu. She just takes Chiwa's face and slams it on her lunch, which is these sandwiches. And I'm like, God damn it. Ridiculous. That's basically what happens there. And she brings up mashuzu once again. JOJO reference. She says, "Oh, Chiwa, you can't do this because you still haven't read all of JOJO." And I'm like, what are you doing? Saying you didn't read all of JOJO and everything and so on and so forth. And this brings, the whole bit. And she's basically, mashuzu's saying this to her and saying, you're stealing my property, you're stealing my boyfriend. And she calls her a capper. But anyway, next order of business that mashuzu brings up is the fact that they can't do their training to make Chiwa popular because of the hall monitors. Now, this is an actually interesting part of the episode because you briefly see partially of the hall monitors. The hall monitor, we don't see the person completely, but we see a girl with pink hair. That's the other girl. Now, we don't see her in this episode completely and hear her speak yet. That's not until next week. We see her. And, you know, she's discussing Mashuzu how to... They're going to sing a song, they're going to sing anime songs in order to evolve in this situation. And she was start singing her song, because once again, Mashuzu reads from his diary. This diary is like so ridiculous, and gets to a point where it's getting ridiculous. Now, that was the funny part. Later on, and then there's some scenes in between, but the main points of the episode was that, and what happens after it. That was the funny part. That was the major funny part of the episode. After that, Ada is walking with Mashuzu. And they stop by this bench. They sit down. And she notices, and he gets another love letter. In this episode, he gets 3 love letters. And the love letter again says, you know, the connection. I want to rekindle the connection between me and you. She threatens him with the whole diary, saying, "Oh, if you don't do it, you don't do what I told you to, I'm going to read this in front of the student body." Really crazy. And that's when we get the introduction of another new character. Mashuzu's sister. Middle school sister. Now, what makes this interesting is that there's something going on with Mashuzu here. Like she's holding back something. There's something she's not telling Ada. Now, surprisingly enough, her younger sister decides to kiss Ada. Yeah! And then she kisses him and she leaves. And she's being a bitch, of course. Little sister, in my opinion, is a bitch. You have no business here. And she says she's from... She goes to a all-girls middle school. Then why the fuck are you doing here? It's like so ridiculous. She shows up out of the blue and kisses him. And then leaves. Go back to your middle school. Private girl, all-girl middle school then. Fuck off. But that kiss upsetted Mashuzu. And because he ended up, Ada was trying to talk to her about it, about what was going on here. She didn't want to have it. She says, no, I'm not, you know, I don't want you, just like how you don't want to, I don't want to find out things about you, you shouldn't find out things about me. Later on, they're at the pool, and he brings up JoJo Part 1 and 2. Oh, do you want to, you know, from JoJo Part 1 and 2 and walk on water, use a ripple technique to walk on water. And I'm like, no. That was ridiculous. So, and she's just standing by the water, and people are laughing at her because she's all mysterious with trying to attract attention. Eventually she gets up. Mashuzu gets into the pool. She can't swim. And she almost drowns. And he, using sea-power, brings her back to life. She wakes up at the nurse's office, and, you know, and she tells him that it wasn't that he was asking questions, it was that, you know, she felt jealous when her sister kissed him. That was the whole bit. So, moving on from that, you know, he leaves her be, so on and so forth, and he goes home with, to take care of Chiwa. She has a fever. Now, like I said, he got like 2 letters in the mail. And he finds out while he's taking care of her that the connection he had with Chiwa was already there. Because he looks in her room. She's there in her room. In Chiwa's room. Looks in her room. Finds the chopsticks that she took, and that she was saying that was my connection to you. No, so she already had a connection with him. Finally, go to school. And she was just talking about the whole, oh, you stole him, you cat burglar, thing. He gets another letter in his locker room. And this time the person wants to meet up. Okay, so we finally gonna find out who this mysterious girlfriend, the one with the love letters is. It's the girl with the dark hair and the ponytail. Now, problem is, this girl, fucking baddie. You're like, what do you mean, Bonkai? It's very simple. She has delusions of grandeur. She's talking about, and she's talking, she says, Ada, and she's like saying, I knew you in your previous life. And I'm like, what? Then she brings up, and I'm like, no. Brings up his name that he made up in his diary. Blazing fighting fighter. And that she saw him fight those other guys doing those poses. And that unsealed her memories. And I'm like, what the fuck? No. And she's hugging him. And then, surprisingly enough, boom, enter Chiwa, walks in onto the roof and mashuzu. That's how the episode ends. This girl is baddie. That's my thoughts on this. This girl needs to go see a psychiatrist. Like, ASAP. Her name, if I'm not mistaken here, is Imika Akashina. Yeah. Imika Akashina. So Akashina, she's baddie. She's that's what she is. She's fucking previous life. Like, what are you talking about? I mean, the fact that she mentions the name he made up of himself, that he wrote in a diary, and that she her memories were she remembered by the pose he did. That alone, it's the crazy flag. Crazy flag came up. She activated the crazy flag. Stay away. Crazy. Now, I'm not going to say that this girl is, crazy. That's way too far. But this girl's definitely fucking baddie. Definitely fucking baddie. So, now next week, the episode is called A Battlefield Where the Great World is Cut to Shreds. We get introduced to another girl. This is the one with the pink hair. Now, her, I believe to be his fiance. Which is another crazy thing. But she seems normal. This one, I think, is an ex-girlfriend from long ago, but he just forgot about her. And the fact that she's bringing up disturbs me. It's like, come on. Like, what are you talking about? Very crazy. Very crazy. But nevertheless, it was a good episode. Want to find out how things go next week. Because I think next week, these guys show up and take mashuzu away. And remember, I told you about the whole thing with the confrontation with the little sister. So, that might bring up something later on. So next week should be very interesting. I look forward to it, especially with this new girl. I mean, When it comes down to it, you have only 3 girls among them that really love him. One is just pretending. But she was just pretending. Even though she obviously has feelings for him. So, as well. And probably this whole thing that she has with her little sister and these people might explain why she's doing this made-up boyfriend-girlfriend thing. That's another thing to think about. So yeah, good episode. This girl's kind of crazy, though. Kind of loon. A loon. Got a loon on her hands. So we'll have to see for next week. But good episode. Good episode. I liked it. The whole thing with the little sister, that was interesting. A little suspenseful. So 4 out of 5. We'll give it a 5 out of 5, but we'll see next week. I might give that a 5 out of 5. We'll see. And this has been Bonk on iTunes. I'll see you guys later. Watch out for girls who talk about make-believe stuff. They're loons. See ya.